Hey, welcome back. Just wrapping it up. We just breezed right through hour two. Frankie joins me again. He's still in New York City, Manhattan, and at the offices and studios of AM 970 The Answer. Hey, Frank.
Hey, John, how you doing? Ready for the weekend to start?
Well, I mean, every day's the weekend now, isn't it, Frank? We drink in the
I suppose
day.
that's true.
We drink in the day. We sleep till whatever time we want. You know what I mean? We sit in the backyard, or at least I do. I don't know. I've been dying to get the WTF going again, but I don't know if I made any mistakes today that you felt need correction.
Yesterday you made a handful. First of all, I'm going to mention this, even though this was yesterday, because I feel like this is a mistake that not only do you make, but everybody makes it. Not everybody, but some people make it. You said, I don't remember if it was the Flynn case we were discussing or something else. You said about something, it was much to do about nothing. It's not much to do about nothing. It's much ado about nothing. So that's one thing. Much ado about nothing. And you made another mistake yesterday. I don't remember what it was, but it was not too significant. I let it go.
All right. Very good. A lot of the stuff I'm seeing on Facebook right now, and I hate, we had, Professor Dershowitz on his book, Guilt by Accusation. I hate the whole guilt by accusation culture we're in, but there's a lot of people on social media, like regular folk, maybe they haven't done enough homework, but they're saying that, many of the groups that were all Me Too, Me Too, Me Too are completely silent now on Joe Biden. What do you make of that, Frank?
Well, look, I think there is certainly a bit of a double standard in some sectors. And I think it tells you that a lot of the opposition to Brett Kavanaugh or Clarence Thomas and others was less about the strength of that particular allegation and more about their political views. I think we should just apply the same standard to everybody. You mentioned Alan Dershowitz. He said today on the radio, he said, we should not believe all women and we should not believe all men. We should believe the evidence and we should go with wherever the evidence suggests. So in the case of Joe Biden, there's no evidence at all to show, or I should say there's very little evidence to show that he's done anything that's disqualifying, at least in terms of sexual misconduct. So every person has a right to be heard, but I don't think every person has a right to be believed.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. But the weird thing is, let's just say that Tara Reade, a document emerges that says Tara Reade did file some kind of official government record alleging, that she felt uncomfortable, that she was asked to serve drinks because she had nice legs and she lost her job for speaking up on it. Does that, in your view, constitute evidence that needs further investigation?
No, it doesn't.
No.
It certainly was misconduct if that should have been investigated back in 1993. But we're talking now decades later, right? Are we really going to allow the 2020 presidential election to hinge on a woman who said her boss made her uncomfortable back in 1993? I don't think so. You want to evaluate some of the things Donald Trump was saying in 1993? I don't think so. So I think it's crazy. If Joe Biden did something that was criminal, he should have been prosecuted for it, and the authorities should have investigated it. But barring that, you could go back forever with this stuff. I think.
Right. How do you square that up in your view? How do you square that up with some of these claims, like against Harvey Weinstein, which were 20 years old, and also Bill Cosby, which were claims that were 20, 30 years old?
Well,
how does that square up?
In the case, first of all, I have some problems with both of those cases. But
Me too.
in the case of both of those individuals, Cosby and Weinstein, it was not one or two women coming out and saying that they were guilty of serious sexual misconduct. It was scores of women. In the case of Cosby, I think we're up to 53 women that claimed something. There's a big difference between 53 or 20 or 30 and 1, 2, or 3. It's just you can get 1, 2, or 3 people to say anything. It's tougher for me to believe that 50 women would all be making up something.
Yeah, no, I guess the totality of circumstances, and it's probably not even fair for me to lump in Joe Biden on one random 25-year-old allegation with Harvey Weinstein and others who like Bill Cosby. But I'm with you. I think the organizations would be better to come out and say, hey, we accept. He made an apology. We don't know what happened. There's no evidence, but the silence, complete silence, is what makes me feel like these movements can't be taken that seriously.
Well, I think there's something to be said for that as well. I mean, I think a lot of these movements, as you refer to them, would be better off advocating for women that were raped, harassed, or sexually assaulted by people that aren't celebrities, because every day there are waitresses, bartenders, salespeople, women, cashiers, women that work in every sector in factories that don't have the luxury of being harassed by someone that's famous. And they have to make the decision between risking their job or dealing with it. And those are the women that I really admire most. They're not going to get a six-figure book deal or get to go on Entertainment Television or the Fox News Channel if they level an allegation against someone. There's some people that have to make the choice between their livelihood or being violated. And those are the victims that I really see very little advocacy for.
Well, Frank, thanks for another great show today. Appreciate you joining us and being there for us like you always are. Here in New York, it looks like global warming is in full effect. We're due for a snowstorm tomorrow in May.
Well, again, John, that's the difference between weather and climate. I've sought to explain this before, but apparently it hasn't worked. Maybe it's something we can revisit on Monday.
Certainly. Well, thank you, my friend. I heard this morning on your radio show, Joe Piscopo's show, heard here in New York on AM 970, The Answer, that you're going to be at Mom's house doing some socially distant family time this weekend.
We'll be in the backyard, John. If you need a break from your self-imprisonment, you're welcome to come by. You have the address.
It's a daily struggle with me and my two other personalities. You know what I mean? It's like a three-man tug of war all day long, so I may take you up on that. Thanks, Frank.
Thank you. And thank you, Nico and Jessica, for all the great work you've done this week as well.
And thank you for watching. We'll be here Monday, same bat time, same bat channel. More Liquid Lunch on Biz TV.